Sujata Tyagarajan, a lead consultant in pediatric ICU, pediatric ED. This monsoon, I would urge parents to be aware of 3 types of problems. One, mosquito-borne illnesses. So we need to be aware of dengue, chikungunya, malaria. These are the common mosquito-borne illnesses. Waterborne illnesses, so diarrhea, vomiting. And because of the rains, we also need to be aware of airborne viral infections, so coughs and colds. All children who are going to school, parents must be worried about what sort of illnesses to anticipate and how to keep them safe. It is absolutely important to remember to watch out for signs of fever, cough, cold, and unusual tiredness. Make sure that they are eating healthy food and in a hygienic way. Make sure that they wash their hands well, and please avoid outside food as much as possible. And for viral infections, please teach your children how to have the cough etiquette. Make sure that they wash their hands regularly and avoid very close contact with other members who may be having similar illnesses. Coughs and colds are very common, and every child can get almost every month one cough and cold episode. What's very important is to see whether they have any breathing difficulty, they have high-grade fever, are they able to sleep at nights comfortably, do they have breathing difficulties. If there is a child who has a past history of requirement of nebulizers or inhalers, such children, we would like you to come and visit the doctor. Please remember, during the winter months, we do need our children covered with flu vaccination. So ensure that if your child is under 5, they are having annual flu vaccine. It starts from May, June, so please come and get it done early. And if children who have recurrent coughs and colds, it's a good idea to just keep them well protected through flu vaccination. Coughs and colds are so frequent that it is very difficult to decide when to actually visit the doctor. If in doubt, please make sure that you seek a video consultation through the Aster Health app. If not, look through certain warning signs. So if your child is having breathing difficulty, if your child is having uncontrollable fever or recurrent fever, child is not active between fever spikes, is not eating and drinking as much as what they would normally do, and they're tired enough, not active, that's the time to come and visit the doctor. Sometimes it is very difficult to decide when to come to the hospital and when to whether to give common medications. So I would say, if your child is very active, eating, drinking well, then you can try with the routine symptomatic care that you can give, say, for fever or cough and cold. We would urge not to be focused on stopping the cough. What we are looking for is, if there is breathing difficulty with such a cough or cold, how is it affecting the child? That's what we are focusing on. So if you find that your child is having breathing difficulty and is not active between fever spikes, that's the time to visit the doctor. By all means, if you have doubt, you can seek a video consultation in prior and then decide on, take the doctor's advice to decide to come to the hospital. Please know, children are actually in a very close environment and they can actually spread infections rampantly. So it's very important to have a system in your school to make sure that children with fever or children with cough and cold are adequately protected in the form of early screening, making sure that children are kept at a social distance so that they're not spreading the thing if necessary. If you have a sick bay, maybe keep them isolated during such times, but still they need to learn. So we need to see how to balance that. Make sure children wash their hands regularly, and teaching them the cough etiquette is absolutely important. So covering their cough, wearing a mask, and using regular hand sanitization, maintaining social distance, all these come a long way to actually prevent spread of infections. I would also urge parents to actually be aware of their children's symptoms, inform the school authorities so that they can make suitable arrangements within the school as well. In our urban environment, it's not possible that every child has to skip the school for a fever spike or a cough and cold episode, because this is so common. So it's important to have a system in place so that we still continue the education for the children right around this winter. There's no substitute for good nutrition and good hygiene. So safe practices include washing hands, eating food that is fresh. Make sure that if you are not sure what the source is and how the food has been prepared, please don't offer to your children. The risk of gastroenteritis is very high. Ensure that your child knows how to wash their hands very well before, and then they know how to use the hand sanitizer, especially if they have a cough and cold, they have a cough etiquette. In terms of immune boosting food, I know lots of people want magic foods. Please understand your child very well. Every child is different. There are certain food items that help your child and certain that trigger illnesses. So understanding the pattern of your child helps. I wouldn't give a blanket thing to say, don't try this or try this. So that's a myth. Make sure that it is personalized to your child. Maybe for a child, ice cream is bad, and for another child, banana is bad. We will not say, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's important to understand which one triggers for your particular child and try to avoid them. There are, in general, the rule of thumb is a good balanced diet, avoiding junk food and knowing the source of how the food is being prepared and consuming it safely. Children fall ill, and for minor illnesses such as fever, you can try paracetamol. Make sure that if you have given any medicines, you recheck the temperature, make sure that it is settling. For cough and cold, I would recommend to avoid unnecessary medicines for that, because they can thicken the secretions and make things worse for the child. Yes, on the outside you may see that the child's cough is slightly reduced, but please remember, any illness can last for up to 5 to 7 days. If your child is not having breathing difficulty, I would urge you to not pump your child with too many coughs and cold medications. If there is vomiting or loose stools, you may try medicines for vomiting as well as probiotics for loose stools. These over-the-counter medications are quite okay. If your child has got a small cut, you may use a local antibiotic for that. So these are like some basics over-the-counter medications that you can safely give it to your children. Make sure that you understand your child's weight and dose, and if in doubt, you can always do a video consultation and make sure that the right dose is given to your child. A basic medicine kit for monsoon for parents. Definitely keep medicines for fever, so paracetamol should be there. Any simple like saline nasal drops are good enough if the child gets blocked nose. A basic cetirizine syrup may be sufficient for coughs and colds. Ondansetron in the form of Emised or Ondem may be taken for stopping the vomiting. And for loose stools, probiotic may be kept. ORS for good oral rehydration and healthy food. These may be some of the common medications that you can keep for this monsoon. Almost all illnesses can be handled virtually. However, some warning signs are very important to be picked up. So if your child is not active, not alert, is asleep, and is not able to eat and drink well, looks tired, is passing less urine, these are the things where you wouldn't sit down and wait at home. You should be in the pediatric emergency department. Here at Aster Women and Children's Hospital, our pediatric emergency is open 24/7 and is manned by qualified post-MD pediatricians here. So it's important to take such help when when the child is really sick. However, for majority of the minor illnesses, virtual healthcare is equally beneficial, especially for busy parents. You may even consider logging in, especially when parents are in two different places. You can consult that. You can do a group call as necessary. And it's important to leverage such technology to provide quick care to children at home, especially for minor illnesses. So the golden advice for parents this monsoon: 1. Good hand washing and hygienic practices, cough etiquette and hand sanitization regularly. Eat food that is healthy, you know where the source is. Cover your children with soft or light cotton clothes so that they are not exposed to that much mosquito bites. Ensure good pest control in your environment. I'm available on Aster Health app for virtual consultation if you have any queries. I'm also available in the pediatric OPD at Aster Women and Children's Hospital. Wishing you a very safe monsoon this year.